All right, guys, I am at the Virginia Point Road home, and this is a rural area, established. You can see this beautiful old growth landscape. A lot of the homes were well established, and then I would say probably over time maybe some were torn down and big palatial houses were built. We know this house is from the 70s, but certainly there are homes around here that are a lot older. And this is east facing, so one of your neighbors there has probably been there a long while. I think this person's been here a long while. I know that house sold maybe in the last 2 or 3 years. But this is a really, really attractive property. So we have this little gate here. It is not electronic or anything, but it does give you an opportunity if you're not home to kind of lock the gate off and give yourself a bit of privacy. There's quite a bit of screening between the neighbors, either with fencing or landscaping. You can see that along the way there. Looks to me like your septic tank is up here, or this possibly is where the old well is. I'm not really sure. This is the well. Let's see. Top of the well. And again, possibly there we had the old well. So there appears to be sprinklers in the yard. Don't know if those are working. Again, being that this is an estate, we're not going to have a seller's disclosure. Our state wants us to have no arm's length. We need the owner to do the seller's disclosures. Estates are not really permitted to do those. You have a circular driveway. This is cement and it's aggregate. And again, it looks like we have some old lighting in here. You can see a hose line in the garden there. Whoever owned this was definitely into gardening. They really did a beautiful job. I think the roof is ready for some moss treatment, but everything I can see, and I'll look up when I get inside, but everything I can see actually looks in really good shape. We have 3-car garage, and this is detached. There's a door out the back, and these are wood panels. So that might, want to be updated at some point. Got, a few little interesting electrical things, which is just not uncommon. I live in a 100-year-old house, and it's very interesting how things are jerry-rigged, not dangerously, but, we need some lights here, and we don't have power, so we're going to kind of run things in a weird way. Again, there are sprinklers and some hose bibs in the yard. And I don't know if this is locked. No, it isn't. That's great. Yeah, very nice. We have lights. Oh, good. We have lights. The garage looks in good shape. It is sheetrocked. It is not taped or mudded or painted. This is going to have to do with the well. Again, some sprinklers here, some old notes, a little wall heater. This has definitely been updated, the water pressure control. So I don't know an awful lot about wells, but that's definitely been updated. A little bit of storage in here. And I don't know what they used this room for. They may have had a hangout space in here based on the heating and the subfloor. It could have been just simply a shop. And it looks like a drop-down little ladder here so we can get into the overhead for some storage. But I suspect they use this space as a shop. Again, I'm not seeing anything concerning. It's, aged, it needs some love, but I'm not smelling mold or water or anything like that. While there are some very fine cracks in the concrete, that's anticipated. Interesting. I mean, these are, logs, but boy, it looks super sturdy. So was this a carport at one time? We see that quite a bit with, the log timber frame. This looks like a pretty good sized beam going across. So, looks good to me. And the home inspector, of course, went through this with a fine-tooth comb. So it's just a really pretty piece of property. Again, I'm not seeing anything on the roof that concerns me. I probably wouldn't rip this off anytime soon. It actually looks like it was well maintained over the years. So, you know, it'd be worth talking to a roofer that specializes in cedar roofs and just say, you know, what's the best way to maintain this and get this to last a good long while. Because our place, Jim would pressure wash it and then he would put Thompson on it. The exterior paint, it actually doesn't look like a thick paint. It looks more like a stain to me. And it looks a bit faded, but I'm not seeing anything super concerning there. You know, maybe the trim, I don't know if this is also a stain. So, can hear the seagulls. Definitely have some windows here, these French doors where the glass is fogged over, so you have a failed gasket there. Again, I'm sure a lot of this is in the inspection. So we come in, it's kind of an interesting entry. Of course, we know the house steps down because we're on a step down piece of property. I'd be super tempted to put in glass doors here just so we can, you know, see the view the second we get inside. These floors are real hardwood. They are oak, probably a red oak number 3. And this looks like possibly cherry or mahogany. I'm gonna go to the right, enter through the doors to the right. So failed window gasket here. This is the room that I said had some failed windows, and this does not have a closet, so this would be a den. So failed windows there, failed windows there, meaning the gasket between the panes of glass has failed and fogged over, unless these are just really dirty. This is definitely a double pane of glass here. So I think we have a rubber gasket that's failed. A lot of overgrown landscape. Wall heaters. You know, would it be beneficial to put a forced air system in here? Well, I see vents, so it feels to me like maybe they did that at some point. Entry closet. I'm gonna go ahead and continue this way. So we have the laundry room here. There's fluorescent lighting in this soffitted area. Arched doorway. Looks like we're going through to the kitchen. So lots of storage pantry type space. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of potential here, but also a lot of work. You know, what's cool is the kitchen is in the back of the house, but you have this really amazing view here. So it's not like, well, I'm in the kitchen and I can't see the view. You can actually see the view pretty good, but all of this needs to be ripped out. You know, could it be salvageable temporarily? Yeah, probably. Another failed gasket, failed gasket, failed gasket, failed gasket. So lots of window replacements. But this is really cool. This side door goes out to this deck and around to the big front deck. And looking out at the roof, again, I'm not seeing anything that jumps out at me as a big concern. So this would be tidal in here. So this water, you know, with the tide, it's going to get pretty low in that area. But out here we have a little deeper bay. And okay, I don't know what's in here, and then for some reason I can't open this. So, okay, I think, gosh, I'm gonna just continue up. Purple carpet. By the way, there's no smells in the house. I'm not smelling pets or anything like that. The carpet is in really great shape and could be restretched, but I don't know that you're into this purple carpet. A really terrific view and a good look down on this roof. So this actually looks really good, and I'm not seeing any staining in the ceiling. Wood fireplace. Lots of storage. So this does count as one of your bedrooms because it has all the things that are necessary, which would be a window, a door, and a closet. And this has the ensuite. So walk-in shower, commode, double vanity, and soaking tub. Thankfully not a jetted tub, and a really great view here. This looks like an updated window to me. It's hard to say. This bathroom is pink, going with the theme of the burgundy carpet. So this may be the only primary, but we'll see as we go through. Okay. So they really took advantage when they were planning this house of, you know, the terraced property. They terraced the house. So this looks like fir shiplap. And again, these are oak. This could be refinished. It's possible that they left the house vacant for a little bit. There's a line of, it's got a little bubble. You know, they're real hardwoods, though. That could be easily fixed. You know, many failed window gaskets here. So this is a big, big family room. Interesting, very 70s. You know, the romper room space. You know, I don't know if these posts are load bearing or what the situation is there. You've got a pretty decent drywall crack in the ceiling. We'll see what that's about. I mean, is there another upstairs? The room above us here is that primary. This feels like it's just following a line. And again, the inspector probably called that out. I won't go out to the deck quite yet. Let's finish up inside and then we'll go outside. Okay, right there. So, hallway bath, like a powder room. Very tiny. Little coat closet. Okay, another family room. So this is where those French doors were out off of the front. Another wood burning fireplace. Have no idea what would have caused this. So did we have some kind of leak? Again, hopefully the home inspector could, you know, tell us what we're seeing. Oil furnace. I don't recall from the listing if it's oil or not. I don't have a light in here. That's what it looks like we have is a oil furnace. Oil heat. This window or door also has some failed gaskets on it. Okay. Interesting. So did they have a sauna in here? Based on this bench, I'm feeling like they had a sauna, and that is likely what happened is we got moisture from the tile in. There's a drain in here. Was this a place where they washed the dog? You know, I don't know, but there's a spigot in here and a floor drain, and I am certain that's what caused this damage here. So, okay. All right, so our family room. Very cool windows. Some of the windows are single pane, so this would be a single pane window, but really, really cool. Skylights look in decent shape. So we saw this. Huh. Maybe they had a bar sink. If this was a family room, maybe there was a bar sink in here because there's water valve. Okay, another coat closet. And then a huge bedroom. So this is a primary also, it looks like. This has a lot of nice natural light. Yeah, there we go. So ensuite, walk-in closet, but quite narrow. So it's a kind of an interesting closet situation. Powder room, tub, another closet. There's a lot to do here. It is a really unique floor plan. I think you could make this super cool. And it's gonna cost a truckload of money, but you're not, all of this, the size of the property, the size of the house itself, the fact that several people have been interested in it leads me to believe that if you just updated it, because you're not gonna be able to do anything really with the floor plan, in my opinion. If you updated it, then you'll, have an interesting home. I could see this become like really Northwest contemporary and have a real cool feel there. But there's a ton of work to be done. Okay, and they repaired some boards, but there's still some boards that need to be, I would probably redo this whole deck. Definitely the paint out here needs help. So windows and paint, complete gut job on the inside. They're not permitting any access down this way. And so I'm not going to be able to get into the boathouse or anything. But if we write an offer on it, we can make it contingent upon, like we have a, inspection for the pier or the inspection for the boathouse. But honestly, this is really, really cool. And deep docks are really, really hard to come by. Just almost impossible. Cherry trees. It's just such a cool yard. There's a lot of really cool things about this place. If you guys are handy, a lot of the inside stuff you could do on your own. And I have resources for all kinds of contractors and all of that. So I don't see anything concerning, like I'm worried about the house being sound. It feels very sound and solid. So I feel like a lot of things are going to be related to cosmetic, and we don't want to underestimate, the cost of that, but at least it's not, we've got to rebuild the foundation or anything. So, gosh, the decking here, this is just like an entertainment dream. We have a kayak down there, but they said that doesn't stay behind. I guess family member will probably take that. But these steps and everything feel in really, really good shape. Okay, hopefully that helps.